from whence cometh my help. My brothers and sisters, David had a spiritual response followed by a natural response. First the natural and then the spiritual. Look at it now. When we respond spiritually to our crisis, Mount Tabor, we are more inclined to exercise good judgment and to act in wisdom. The spiritual response in times of crisis, my brothers and sisters, is to find strength in God. The spiritual response in times of crisis is to inquire of the Lord, to seek directions from God for our lives. The spiritual response in times of crisis, Mount Tabor, is to pray. There is no problem. There is nothing wrong with crying. There is nothing wrong with weeping over your loss. But after you would have wept, Mount Tabor, you've got to get down on your knees and inquire of the Lord. That's why prayer is a pillar of this ministry. Look at somebody and simply say to them, get up and look up. My brothers and sisters, when we respond naturally to our crisis, we are more inclined to be consumed and be clouded by what's going on around us. But on the other hand, my brothers and sisters, when we respond spiritually to our crisis, our focus is God, our attention is God, and so forth. My brothers and sisters, as a result, we would gain the power to get up when we fall down. But let's look at David's response. David's first response was natural. His second response was spiritual. My brothers and sisters, while he was in the natural, he did not allow his natural circumstances and his natural response to cloud the spiritual. I came by to tell someone today, don't lose sight of the spiritual, because the enemy's trick in this season, Mount Tabor, is to cause you to see and to hear so much negative news that you lose sight of the spiritual. While darkness is covering the earth, Mount Tabor, understand that the light of God is shining upon the people of God. So we must not allow our pain to paralyze us from moving forward. The Bible declares that David's pain caused him to weep until he was weak. But David strengthened himself in the Lord. In other words, David made himself strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. I came by to tell someone today that this ought to be our response in times of crisis. We've got to say, I'm strong. The Bible declares in Joel 3:10, let the weak say, I am strong. But listen to this, because David kept his head up in times of crisis. The Bible declares in verse number 18, as we bring this thing in, so David recovered all. Verse number 19, and nothing of theirs was lacking, either small or great, daughters or sons, spoil or anything which they had taken. David recovered all. I came by to David, two words for someone, and those two words simply total recovery. Look at somebody and prophesy to them a prophetic declaration: total recovery. For some of you it may seem as if you've lost everything. For some of you, you've lost your home. For some of you, you've lost your cars. For some of you, you've lost your jobs. For some of you, you've lost your spouse. For some of you, you've lost your families. But I came by to tell you that Ziklag is not the end of the road. Total recovery. If you continue to keep your head up and to the hills from whence your help comes from, I came by to tell you, Mount Tabor, that you will experience total recovery. And so at Ziklag you may lose some things that are valuable to you, but my brothers and sisters, if you keep your head up, the Bible declares in Joel chapter 2 and verse number 25, I will restore to you the years that the swarming locust has eaten, the crawling locust, the consuming locust, the chewing locust. Mount Tabor, I came by to tell you today that if you keep your head up, God will take care of you. We see Job now. Come here, Job. Come testify. We see Job in Job 42 and verse number 10. The Bible declares, and the Lord restored Job's losses when he prayed for his friends. In other words, when he moved into a spiritual response to his natural and negative circumstances, the Bible declares that God restored Job's losses, and God did not just restore his losses. The Bible declares, indeed the Lord gave him twice as much. The Lord gave him a double for his trouble. My brothers and sisters, when we find ourselves at a low, we've got to be like David and simply say unto God, restore unto me